Guys, in this video, I'm talking about Nepal and Kathmandu. It's a wonderful place to visit. I'm here on the top of my hotel. I've had a great experience here, but I've got a lot of tips for you, things that you should know before you arrive, things I wish I would have known. First thing, visa on arrival. You come here, you don't need a special visa, but what you do need is a visa on arrival. And if you're not prepared, that means you're going to be waiting at a kiosk for 20, 30 minutes. And then you got to wait in another line to pay for the visa on arrival. So quick tip, you want to go and fill out the form online and save your screenshot before you arrive here. That'll save you maybe 20, 30 minutes. Also be aware that it's a drive on the left country. So you're going to be driving on the left side of the road, and you got to be careful looking both ways as you're crossing the street. But when it comes to driving, you're probably not going to be driving here. You're going to be taking taxi. And by the way, no Uber and no Grab here in Nepal as well. So you're going to be taking taxis. You're going to be paying with the Nepalese rupee. Now, the exchange rate, there's 132 to 1, so 132 rupees to $1 US. Basically what that means is the 1,000 rupee bill represents about $8. You're going to be using a lot of the 1,000 rupee bill. Some places take US dollars as well, so or euros. You can, but I'd still change your money, get some rupees, even though some places do take American dollars and euros. So next thing you should need to know is the language. The language is Nepali, and it's very similar to Hindi in the same way that Portuguese and Spanish are similar. But most people speak English. I've been impressed that most people here speak good English, and that goes with shop owners, taxi drivers. Seems like it's very prevalent, and it's pretty good English as well. You can understand the dialect's not bad at all. So easy to get around and communicate with people.
Okay, tell me, what is the best time of year to come to Kathmandu or Nepal?
I think the best time to visit Nepal is October, November, and mid-December. Then February, March, April.
Here's one other unusual thing about Nepal. It is on a weird time zone that is 5 hours and 45 minutes ahead of Greenwich Mean Time, GMT. In other words, it's 15 minutes ahead of the standard Indian time zone, which is very unusual. So if you're planning a call with somebody in a different time zone or trying to arrange a meeting, like an online meeting, that could represent a problem. It's very weird to have. It's one of only, I think, 3 places in the world that have a time zone that doesn't line up on the hour the same as most other countries. Now, there's about 30 million people that live in Nepal, and 3 or 4 million live right here in Kathmandu, which is the capital city. Now, Kathmandu, beautiful place. In fact, as you're flying in, you might want to snag some pictures because it is a beautiful city from the air. However, there's not any big, huge mountains right around. In fact, it's kind of rolling foothills, some mountains in the distance, but not the big Himalayan peaks. You actually need to go and take a special flight if you want to see the big peaks of the Himalayas like Mount Everest. One reality of coming here to Nepal and Kathmandu is this place is very much in the developing world. In fact, really kind of far down on that spectrum. I guess there's no other way to say it. It's a very poor country. If you're familiar with the United Nations HDI score, the UN ranks every country based on human development, things like education, infrastructure, income, economy, safety. And each year they publish this report. At the very top of the list, usually you have countries like Norway, Switzerland, Singapore. After that, you get to the United States. It's usually ranked between 11th and 20th, along with Germany. You get to about 50, you get countries like Turkey, Thailand, Costa Rica. After you get beyond 100, you really get to places, in my experience, having traveled 80-something countries, you get to places where the poverty is kind of out in the open much more. I think India is ranked 125th, 130th in that range. I checked on Nepal, and it is ranked 143rd. That's very, very much a developing country and a very poor country. What does that mean for you as a traveler? Well, it means a few things. The poverty is going to be out in the open here. There's going to be trash in the streets. There's going to be stray dogs. There's not going to be traffic laws. There's going to be potholes on the roads. I definitely wouldn't drink the hotel water, the water from the faucet. There's been power outages. The internet's not that great. And I don't say this to be disparaging. I just say this as a reality. When you visit a country, especially that's kind of ranked this low on the spectrum of the HDI score, those are just the realities. We like to think of everything as first world, second world, and third world, and it's really not that way. It's a broad spectrum, but Nepal is kind of down a ways on that spectrum. Now, despite this being a poor country, there is one neighborhood in Kathmandu that is kind of nice. I mean, it's not nice like Costa Rica or Thailand, but it's pretty nice. You've got some American style restaurants, a lot of nightclubs. In fact, that is something you should know, is the nightclub scene here in Kathmandu is pretty real. There's a lot of dance clubs, a lot of places to go and party and drink, and that's kind of been the case for quite some time. This place definitely attracts a lot of backpackers, a lot of folks that are looking to do some trekking. So let me tell you a place I recommend, and that is the Swayambhunath Temple. I might have just butchered that, but it's better known as the Monkey Temple. This place definitely worth a visit. It's located up on a hill overlooking Kathmandu. The view alone is absolutely worth checking out here. You get some great pictures of the city. Now, the temple is more of a temple complex. There's a lot of different buildings, and the monkeys are everywhere. In fact, some of them can be kind of aggressive. You can buy some food to feed to the monkeys if you want. In fact, I saw one monkey kind of approach a little girl, probably 5 years old, and steal an ice cream cone right out of her hand. And so just be careful if you've got any food. Those monkeys will chase you after it. The next place I'd recommend visiting is the Boudhanath Stupa. Now, this is on the other end of town from the Thamel Neighborhood, and so you're gonna have to take a taxi here, probably a 15 or 20-minute drive. However, I really like this a lot. You go in here and it's a circular complex, and you go around and there's these spindles, and you go around and you touch them, and you go in a clockwise fashion around the entire complex. It's supposed to bring good luck, good fortune. I talked to some locals here and asked them a little bit about this. What is the purpose for the spinning?
This is the mantra wheel. Mantra wheel.
Okay.
You can say mantra of Mani Padme Hum like that, and you can spin the.
You spin it,
yeah.
and so it's a symbolism.
Yeah, symbolism for Buddhism.
For Buddhism. Okay. Does it mean like good fortune,
Yeah.
good luck? That. Okay. And you always have to go clockwise.
Yes. Through your negative energy.
To get rid of the negative energy. But you walk around everywhere, and there's all sorts of artisans and restaurants, places that you can stop in, do a little shopping, find some souvenirs. And I actually stopped by, found an art shop, and they had kind of some compelling, unique paintings that I looked at closely. I actually bought one. The other place I recommend is the Pashupatinath Temple, and I might have just screwed up the pronunciation of that name as well. But I'd probably say if you only go one place, this might be the best one. It's an emotional experience. It will cost you 1,000 rupees to get in, and you walk down, and again, a temple complex. This is a Hindu temple complex. Now remember, almost 90% of the Nepalese people are Hindu, and so this is their core religion here. And in this particular temple complex, they are washing and then burning the corpse of their dead.
They will carry from here to that.
Okay, so they're going to take them, they're washing the body,
Yes.
and then they're going to take them on that bamboo to down to that, and then that's where they'll burn the body then. Okay. So very important tradition in Hindu.
Yeah.
So I hear some cries. I see some people mourning, very sad, probably a close relative.
Yeah, they are relatives. And all of them are maybe family, some are friends, some are neighbors. They have to be here
Yes.
until the cremation.
Does this happen right after death?
Yeah, after that.
And so like this person probably died yesterday or something?
No, today.
Today?
Yes.
This is immediately?
Yeah, immediately. So according to the Hindu tradition, if somebody dies, so we have to bring immediately as soon as possible.
Wow. Okay.
And you see the new one?
Yes. So definitely still in a state of mourning.
Yes.
Yeah, this is very raw, very fresh.
Yeah, very right.
It's heart-wrenching to watch this happen. I was nervous even watching this, but then I had a couple of people tell me that, oh, they encouraged me to watch it, and they said you can even film it if you want from a distance. And so I did. I watched this play out, and not something that we see or experience too much in Western culture, but to see this play out, seeing these two bodies be washed in the river, and this is a sacred river. It flows down into the Ganges in India, and seeing the family members mourning and crying aloud as this is going on. The tradition here is it must be done within 24 hours after someone dies. A powerful, powerful thing to see and experience, especially if you've never seen that before. So let's talk about the Everest flight. If you get the opportunity, I would highly recommend it. It is expensive. It's going to be between $200 and $250 per person. Now you're going to get a window seat. I'm astounded at how awesome the view was, even out of a plane window this big. The flight itself, you got to wake up 5:15 in the morning. They'll pick you up from your hotel. They drive you to the airport. You wait for a little while, then you get on a plane. It takes about a 15-20 minute flight to get there. One side of the plane gets to take the pictures approaching, and then they turn, and the other side of the plane gets to take the pictures on the return. Just an amazing experience. They give you a little certificate when you're done. Seeing Everest up close and personal, a place I've heard about my whole life, and seeing it right there was just a tremendous experience. Final recommendations for you. Get a good travel agent. I highly recommend my guy. It's his own little business. He was very honest with me, very easy to communicate with. I think that's what you need in a local travel agent. Lastly, go online, plan ahead of time. I think there's so much to see in this region. Maybe not specifically in Kathmandu. You might only need maybe 1, 2, 3 days directly in Kathmandu, but in this region, the trekking, the hiking, the different activities, there's so much to see here. You could have the trip of a lifetime if you plan it out right.